Hello, welcome to another video, and today I'm going to introduce my HELLZERKER AMARA for level 65. Yes, updating the build that I have been using since September of last year. The all-rounder AMARA build that can use any action skill, nearly any weapon, to the limit of said weapon, and of course do any content, and is always the build that I take into new content first. So if they launch a new takedown, I'm going in with HELLZERKER, because it's just so damn good, so damn easy to play, easy to build for, versatile, so... yeah, if I'm farming Guardian Takedown, I'm on this build. So I'm just going to jump into the skill tree. As I say, the gear, it's extremely open, so I'm just going to do the skill tree first. I'm just going to go through like the trees on like which one I would level first. 3 points in personal space is an absolute no-brainer. Then 2 points in clarity to get Blight Tiger. Over to red tree, max and steady hands. There's not many... red tree skills that actually do a lot, and we need to get down to forceful, so this is a no-brainer. Infusion's very good if you got limited weapon selection in terms of elements. So say if I've only got a corrosive monarch, and I don't have my fire consecutive hits monarch yet, you can use infusion to kind of fill that void and help you out there. And it also helps making non-elemental weapons a bit more competitive for you, especially early game. Later game, you don't really need it as much, especially when you start getting more and more weapons. So you can put as many points into this. I just always recommend putting at least one. The reason why I don't spec anima is because a lot of dots that you receive end up getting boosted by anima, whether it's like water dots or a barrel dust cloud or a bit of stray splash damage. It happens a lot, and anima kills you a lot, so I despise the skill, and I try to avoid it, which is why I've gone for 2 on infusion. Tempest, it's more elemental damage, it's one of Amara's strongest skills, no brainer, although keep in mind it is only 40% increase and not the listed 50% increase to shock damage. Just skill descriptions, eh? Illuminated Fist is a free heal, we need to get down the tree anyway, and, well, Anima's bad and Wildfire doesn't really do much, so we gotta take this now. And with Sustainment, this is a full heal whenever we're delivering Groundbreaker to kill a death or whatever. It's a full heal. Wildfire, spreading dots, handy for the pearl and consecutive hits. It stacks it faster, and if I kill one enemy, well, I've got a dot on another enemy to stack those up, so Wildfire is pretty good. If I'm putting more points on infusion, I would take them from Wildfire. Dread, gun damage, instant reload ability, really, really good. I love Dread, it's great. Deep Well for some mag size, and then Indiscriminate because it's one of Amara's most powerful skills. It gets Mayhem scaling for some reason. I don't think it should, but it does, so we're taking it. Very strong mobbing tool here because it picks up the slack on mobbing if you're using Phase Cast or Phase Slam. So yeah, Indiscriminate's pretty great. Sustainment, you only really need 1. I've gone with 2 just because some non-elemental weapons don't full heal me after 1 pellet hitting, and that's not good enough. We gotta have more lifesteal to brute force our way through this content, so I go with 2. And especially since the alternate skill here, Conflux, isn't going to be doing much either. It's literally only here for, for Harmageddon, so... yeah, so just like 1 or 2 in Sustainment and the rest in Conflux to reach Forceful Expression. Now Forceful Expression I think should be better. It's 1/5 of 1 Skag Den point for most, and that is before like outside bonuses like Stoke and Stainless Steel Bear and Scorching RPMs, which I'm jealous of. Gearbox, move the Mayhem scaling from Indiscriminate to Forceful, please. But yeah, either way, it's still single target damage for Amara, one thing she doesn't have much of, so yeah, we take it. Blue Tree, every skill here is great. However, I only go 1 do harm, and the reason for that is if I want Phase Cast and Phase Slam damage, you need to invest a lot. You need to get max do harm, max awakening, some 200% splash anoint or Urad, and at that point it's a different build, and I have builds for that, and they're great. It's a lot of fun, but I get further with speccing less and do harm, put those points elsewhere, and just using these action skills for the powerful anoints, the 250 and 300% ones. Also, it's a double-edged sword for ties that bind, because you end up killing your linked targets too quickly. You kill your linked target with, if you've got high do harm, you kill them before Indiscriminate shots can hit them, which means that Indiscriminate damage is not looping back up through ties, being amplified again into the original target. So you just end up killing everyone apart from the linked target in the middle. And I just realized you can't see my mouse, so I'm flicking through skills all here. I'm actually moving my mouse trying to visualize this, but I don't think my Don't think Shadowplay picks that up, annoyingly. Anyway, back on topic. Yeah, do harm for a lot of instances, most instances, in terms of clearing content, bad for ties. So this frees up skill points for us to spend elsewhere, and that's why I've only got one in do harm. Violent Tapestry is fun as well, it keeps our stacks up, and that's good. Transcend, it's critical hit damage, stacks twice, some accuracy as well, no brainer. Restless, cooldown rate, more ties, more big powerful annoyance, so we run with that. Ascendant I only run because of Stillness of Mind, which I used during a bit of the Guardian Takedown, and Guardian Takedown is the toughest encounter in the game, so one skill point to make that a little bit easier, sure. From Rest, Fire Rate, no brainer. Blade Bearer, debuff skill, no brainer. Wrath, some more gun damage. Mara has barely any on her skill tree, so again, another no-brainer. 1 point in Remnant, ridiculously powerful, overpowered, gets mayhem scaling for absolutely no reason. 1 point in this, you don't need more than one. And then Avatar to double up our action skills. At this point, we're going to have about 7 or 8 skill points left. Because I only went 1 in Alacrity to get down the tree, you only need 1 here. But then after that, max it out to 5, that reload speed, it's helpful all the time, no matter what weapon you're using, and it's pretty great. Our Hellwalker reloads very, very fast. I avoided Arms Deal because I don't use too many splash weapons, and, you know, the reload speed is going to be more handy more of the time. After we max this out, we're going to have 2 skill points left, which you can put into either Arms Deal, for when you do use those guns, Violent Tapestry for a little bit of cryo efficiency, especially if you're running an Icebreaker, Victory Rush, or Awakening for some more reload speed. I went Awakening because I use the Hellwalker a lot, but yeah, that's just the open skill points there. Onto the gear, very, very open here. Of course, I recommend the Hellwalker, HELLZERKER Hellwalker. And the Hellshock as well, very easy to get. Pre-Mayhem 6 guns here. These 2 guns alone can clear any content in the game, up to Guardian Takedown and True Iowan and whatnot. These 2 alone will set you right there. But of course we want to expand our infantry, so some other pistols are going to be the light shows for some boss damage. Nemesis is pretty fun too, and the beacon is a good DLC option as well. SMGs, the Flipper and the Bloodstarved Beast are really, really strong. I'm not a huge fan of the Flipper, but the Bloodstarved Beast, if you get a good ×3 roll, is a lot of fun. The Chaoson's dropped off a bit. It's probably going to be our best base game option, along with the Devoted and the Nighthawken. This is going to be a bit better. I do think they overnerfed it though. Yeah, I wouldn't put this at the top of your farming list. Assault Rifles, Monarch is an absolute no-brainer. It'll just destroy everything. The Monarch and the Light Show alone can just do any content in the game. So if you get these 2, everything else is just a bonus. Of course, one requires DLC, one requires Mayhem 6, but once you got them, you got them. Also, for pretty much any gun, I recommend Consecutive Hits as the Anoint. It stacks up really quick. It's there all of the time, like when your action skill is up or down. It's friendly for swapping weapons. The next best Anoint, I would say, is the next 2 Mags Anoint. I'm not a personal fan, because I like to swap weapons a lot when I'm not just whoring out in the Hellwalker. But yeah, next 2 mags is like the next best. I just prefer consecutive hits, but both work. Other assault rifles, Star Helix is good, Chaos is good since the buff, Clairvoyance is still pretty good. And if you got one lying around, the No Pew Pew is still a monster. Shotguns, Hellwalker is great, Convergence is great, because Convergence is able to trigger its special effect on indiscriminate shots. So it's not losing out there, and it's a very powerful single target weapon, and, you know, Amara's MO, good single target weapons are good mobbing weapons, because indiscriminate and ties, so yeah, Convergence is very, very strong if you manage to get a good one. Reflux and Brainstormer I don't really use for Amara, because as I just said, she's already got mobbing in her skill. She can turn a single target weapon into a mobbing weapon, so I don't feel the need to use a mobbing weapon. So I don't really use those 2 a lot, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. Snipers, Monocle, it's a blast, 390, just pick up 1 target, shoot them, everybody dies, you know the drill. And the Sandhawk for a DPS. I'm not a big fan of the Sandhawk, I do believe this was over-nerfed as well. But it's there if you want it, get some AoE bonuses on it. I feel like it does need AoE bonuses to beat out the Monarch though, so if you've got those, it's great. Rocket Launcher does find clunky in Amara, and I'm not a big fan. I've got this 390 Iron Cannon here for Valk Skip, and that's pretty much it. Plague Bearer and Backburner, they're never going to be bad. They just don't really feel highlighted here on Amara. Shields, Old God for the elemental damage, absolutely no-brainer. Have one of each flavor. Now my main Amara saves are still level 57 because they're a pain to farm, but on this one they're 65, and yeah, if you got a set of these, it's gonna be the shield you're using the most, I think. Now the Plus Ultra and All-In are fun because they've got cooldown rate on them, and more cooldown rate is always fun. But they don't offer any like strict damage increase, and I feel like Amara's already got good enough mobbing with ties and Indiscriminate. We've got enough of that, so I go with Old God just to maximize our single target damage. And then for defensive options, Transform is great, Stopgap's great, Recharger and Rico are great. Grenade, it's piss, no brainer. There's no other grenade that would go in this slot. It's a 20% debuff item in there. Class mod, HELLZERKER, I prioritize action skill cooldown rate followed by some form of damage, whether it be critical hit, weapon type, splash, weapon damage, or even mag size. Skills doesn't really matter, just try and avoid anima, I guess, but prioritize the passives first. I carry a driver for movement speed, and that's it. I don't actually use this. And then for artifacts, the Pearl is going to be the best for damage output, for sure. If you do not have DLC though, the Icebreaker Victory Rush is very good, because you got V2 from the Icebreaker and then V1 from the Vic Rush. And then you got the Snowdrift Victory Rush for movement as well. For passives on Vic Rush, I would prioritize cooldown rate, mag size, and then some form of damage, whether it be weapon type or elemental. And that's pretty much it for gear and spec. Moving on to gameplay. If you're using ties, you don't need to fake grasp with this build. Just pick up the weakest target and then away you go. Just kill that and then your roll's going, you know, your ASEs are going. We've got short enough cooldown with, you know, topped off and all those cooldown rate bonuses that we've got stacked up on there to maximize our ties uptime just because of how powerful that action skill is. We don't need to fake grasp at all with this build. And especially what I said earlier regarding do harm, you know, we don't need 99 stacks. For bossing, I would definitely recommend Phase Cast, even if you do not have a 250% Anoint or a 300% Anoint if you're using Slam. It's just, it's immediate ASE, and then it's immediate Laid Bare, which you cannot do with Grasp, and most bosses do not spawn with ads. And I think if you're waiting for ads to spawn to kill them with ties, you could have already killed them with Phase Cast and a high DPS weapon. Like, it's all well and good one-shotting a boss with 99 stacks of do harm and then like a big hard-hitting weapon through ties, but while flashy, ultimately useless. When I could just drop in there, hit him with a Phase Cast and plug him full of Monarch holes, you know? So again, another reason I don't like do harm, it's just not practical for ties in bossing, so yeah. That's what I recommend for bossing. I'll have a DLC 4 end boss kill at the very end of this video if you want to see how this handles that. I use the Hellwalker because the Monarch just hasn't quite got the range. It's got too much spread. So I use the Hellwalker, and if I run out of Hellwalker ammo, I actually use the no pew pew. It's very accurate long range as that gun, I love it. After that, just try and prioritize and matching elemental weaknesses, so if I'm fighting against a lot of flesh, I use, you know, Fire Old God, Fire ASE, and then like Cryo on my grenade. If I'm fighting COV, I'll often try and use a Fire Gun, Cryo Old God, Corrosive Grenade ASE, and then Shock action skill element. Just basically fill all the holes, depending on what your weapon. So if I'm using a Shock weapon, then I'll want, you know, Fire and Corrosive on my ASE as an action skill element. Just fill in the holes, make sure you're playing to those enemy elemental weaknesses to get the most out of your damage. For the 2 takedowns, I just run Shock Corrosive on my grenade and shield, and on my guns and action skill element. Only using a fire gun for the necro bugs, but yeah, Shock Corrosive for takedowns for sure for me. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up here. If you want to be able to download this save, this isn't my personal save, this one I have just maxed out for you, if you want to play with like a maxed out HELLZERKER. Go into the description, do a link to the Discord, it's an absolute great community if you want to join, but of course, if you're just there for the save, on the left hand side you'll see all the channels, scroll down till you find saves, and it'll be the second save in that channel, so just do search HELLZERKER if you're watching this in 3 years and I've got more in there. I don't know. So yeah, that wraps it up from me. I'll just show a bit more gameplay or whatever, whatever I do in editing. So thank you for watching. I hope this build helps you out. I hope you enjoy it, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.
Fully energized!